Hi, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to talk to you about a fault that I recently encountered on a Nissan Qashqai 1.5 DCI. So just to talk about the symptoms that I encountered with the car, so you can see if this video is similar to what you've experienced and therefore how relevant it will be for you. Under power, going up a hill in top gear, the engine hesitated and lost power briefly, and the check engine light came on. It was actually a red check engine light, so we had no choice really but to stop and pull over to the side.
Okay, let's get started. This video features the 1.5 DCI engine as fitted to a Nissan Qashqai. But this engine is actually being used quite a lot in quite a lot of different manufacturers. So you can see here that it says Renault, Nissan and Dacia. I got this information from the Wikipedia page for a K9K DCI, which is actually just a different name for this engine. So if you want to check out that page to see if this video is directly relevant to you, then please go ahead. But a lot of the things that I cover will probably be relevant no matter what engine you have, because I'm going to talk about the turbo boost problem that I found and what I did to check and fix it, and hopefully that would still be relevant to you even if you had a different car. Okay, so presumably you've had some kind of symptoms with your car, which has led you to look for this fault code. So you may have had a loss of power, or a red engine management light come on, which was the case with us. So something like that. It led you to look up the code, and now it's a case of, well, what does it mean? So if you look on the internet, you find that it means that there's a fault with the turbo or the supercharger boost system. So it's a generic code, and it could be across a lot of different cars. That if you start searching for your particular car and this fault code on the internet, then you'll probably find that a lot of people have been checking the inlet, also the outlet side of the turbo, and it's all about checking all your connections, because more often than not you'll have some kind of an air leak. I found this handy diagram for the Nissan Qashqai 1.5 DCI engine, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of connections. So you can see the intercooler on the front left, and then obviously quite a lot of pipes and hoses. Some of these you can get easy access to and you can check. Other ones you might be able to look at from underneath, for example. But anyway, this is all of them, so that if you're curious about which hose, or maybe you find a fault with one of your hoses and you want to replace it, then this will help you identify it, or at least make a start at it. The first thing we need to do is remove this inlet. At this stage, a leak in this area wouldn't really affect the engine, because the air hasn't been through the airflow meter yet. So the reason for removing this is purely for access. Now that the inlet is removed, you can see this turbo boost hose. So the turbo's at the back of the engine, and this is one of the hoses that goes to the intercooler. And one of the problems that you can have is a split in this hose. So you can remove it quite easily by taking the two Jubilee clips off, and actually I did that. Or you can just reach all around it and just kind of feel for any splits or tears in the hose. As you can see, I removed the turbo boost hose that I was talking about. And from my research, another big culprit for an air leak is now this Bakelite plastic section of the hose, which you can see in the middle of the picture here. So the recommendation here is to remove this. So you can see there's a electrical connection on the left, another Jubilee clip on the top, and then on the right hand side there's some mounting bolts. So where the risk of getting a split in this pipe is actually at that top edge near the Jubilee clip. It's probably movement of the engine and the plastic as it gets older or it's subjected to heat. If it flexes, then it can cause some cracking. So if you remove this piece, then you'll be able to gently flex it by hand and see if it's cracked. Obviously, any cracks or holes could be the cause of your problem. So if you've got them, you'll want to replace this piece. There's another large turbo boost hose on the other side of the engine. One of these is to the intercooler and one's coming back from it, but they're both under boost pressure. So the same applies with this one. So, has the hose slipped off of that metal pipe? Is the Jubilee clip nice and tight? And then either by removing or checking with your hands, check all along the length of this rubber boost hose to see if it has any splits or tears in it. The final area that I recommend to check is the big rubber inlet hose that you can see on the top right hand side of the picture. So either the main hose itself, which could be damaged or deteriorated, although that's unlikely. Because this is on the inlet side, then we're talking vacuum here, and it won't be subjected to the same stresses as the rubber turbo hoses we were talking about a minute ago. But the problem, the area that we found an issue was if you see the small hose that is attaching to a port. Well, I disconnected this, and what I found is the plastic section that fits into the large rubber hose. It's literally just like a bayonet push fitting into there. And I'm sorry, I don't have another photo of it. That was loose and it was spinning quite easily. So I actually rectified the problem by removing that plastic piece and putting some PTFE tape around it, pushing it back in again so that it was a snug fit. And I could tell it was a much tighter fit because previously that small hose, it would rotate quite easily. But then once I'd taped it up, then it was a much tighter fit and it was quite stiff to try to rotate it. So anyway, I'll put an arrow on the video, and this is one of the areas that I recommend you investigate.
I hope you found the video useful. If you did, then please give me a thumbs up because it's always nice to have some encouragement, and it does help my YouTube channel. More people can find it. If you want to be kept abreast of things, then subscribe. Obviously you'll just get a notification there's a video and you can see if it's relevant for you, and if it's not, then ignore it. But it does mean that you won't miss out on things either. I believe I have a few subscribers, so just apologies that I haven't posted anything for a while. I've had quite a busy summer, but as I come across problems, fix things, work on my car projects, then I'll be trying to post up a bit more. Okay, thank you. Bye for now.